to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the show, Mike and Jay. Shalom, Biggie. Hello, Jay.
Hey.
How are you, my friend?
All right. How about you?
Doing all right. Yeah.
Good.
Beautiful day out. Gotta love that. God, this summer's nice, isn't it? It's fun. It's so much better to have the sun shining every day. I just love it. It's so much better. Anyway,
It's only a few months, Mike.
I know. We got to take advantage of it while we can. I meant to ask you right out of the gate. Was there another story you had from the weekend?
I don't know.
That you didn't tell yesterday? I thought you said
I guess
there was.
You know what? I don't know. It's a weird situation. So I mentioned that I actually didn't mention on the show that I went kayaking under the Mackinac Bridge, and so I was there around there for a little bit, and I had to go to the bathroom, and so I walk over to go to the bathroom, this public bathroom.
Oh no!
And this older dude is kind of like, "How's it going?" And I was in this really.
Did you have to go one or two?
You want to talk about body high? One. But you want to talk about body high situation. I'm just like, I just got off the water from under the Mackinac Bridge. I'm feeling really good. I got no real plans. So I'm like, not bad, dude. Not bad. He's like, why don't you sit down and talk to me for a little bit?
What?
And I'm just like, yeah, I guess. Sure, whatever. His name was Ed.
Sure.
And we start talking, and he's like, well, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I'm going on this trip, just kind of whatever.
He was looking for gay sex in the stall. That's where I feel like this is leading.
No, well, here's the thing. So we talk, and eventually he regretfully tells me, oh, my wife passed a few years ago. I'm like, oh, my God, I'm sorry. He's like, that's terrible, sorry for your loss, I guess. I don't know.
Thoughts and prayers, all that
right,
shit.
of course. And then, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, yeah, I miss her more than you can understand. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh, man.
He's trying to get emotional with Big E.
I'm like, I understand. Dude. I mean, I told him, like, I don't understand, but, I can appreciate it, I guess, or I feel bad for, whatever.
But your emotions are raw at that point. You've just kayaked under the Mackinac Bridge.
Exactly, of course.
The whole thing.
And so then he gets into telling me that, like, because his wife has been gone for about 4 years or so, he hasn't been with a woman in 4 years. And then he tells me, he goes, flat out, he goes, and I gotta say, it's not just like having the wife around, but I miss sex. I miss having sex. And I'm like, I'm sure. I bet. I just didn't know what to say because I get it.
Well, that's all right.
And he's just like at this bench, and we're just looking at the Mackinac Bridge, and it's like July 4th, by the way.
Guys out there.
This is the holiday. This is like the day, July 4th in the morning, probably 11-ish, 11:30 in the morning. And he's just like literally describing about how he misses having sex and cuddling. And then I'm just like, I didn't know.
Did you pry a little bit? Like, what was your favorite type of sex, Ed?
God, I should have. I should have, I guess.
There are people who don't want to do other things.
I talked to him for a few
If you
more.
want ice cream, you don't go to a barbecue shop.
I talked to him for a few more minutes, and then I did have to go to the bathroom because I actually had to go when I originally sat down.
He followed you in, didn't he?
No, I said, hey, I really
stole
apologize.
3, please.
I really apologize, man, but I do have to go to the bathroom. And when I left, I felt bad, but I told him, I said, Ed, I really feel bad, dude, but I'm hungry. I'm going to go get some lunch, but it was really nice talking to you, and have a good day, have a good holiday, and it's kind of where it ended.
Seems like there's some question in your mind as to whether Ed was hitting on you. In my mind, there's zero question.
There's zero question.
No.
None.
No, it was
Did you get the feeling Ed had told that story to numerous people over the last 4 years?
Possibly. There's
10 minutes.
Right.
Like he had a tight 10. Yeah, he had a tight 10. He knew that story well.
There's no question. I mean, he was looking for
elevator
people to
speech,
sit down. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Like Ed gets to the point where it's like, I really miss sex, and that's the in, and he's waiting for the guy to go, well, we could fix that.
Yeah.
And
then
maybe,
boom, I guess.
You know what I mean?
I
Just
wish
cast in the line.
I would say, I guess, in this setting to tell the story, I guess I wish that I would have asked more about the sex part.
Sure.
But I would not have felt right, honestly. This dude is whether he's waiting for who knows he's waiting for to talk to. He sits by the bathroom, which is probably the move because everyone has to walk by the bathroom. So he can at least say hi, and people will say hi. How's it going?
Oh,
fine.
Man, that's grim.
But then when he asked me to sit down, I actually didn't have anything going on. So I'm like, you know what? Whatever, man. If this dude
How
wants
old
to
is
talk, he was 70-ish.
Okay.
I forget exactly. He told me exactly, but I don't remember. And he had some deal with his leg where it swells up really bad at times, so he can't walk
Diabetes?
too much.
He's got
He
the
didn't, no, you
diabetes.
know what? It didn't say diabetes. Like,
Did he have both feet?
I'm not. Yeah. So I'm not. I don't think that was it because it sounds like he didn't sound like he would have just said diabetes. He said some kind of condition where at times it will just swell up a lot, then it will go back, I guess. So, but who
That's
knows?
not a turn on Ed. Ed's got to get better at this.
Yeah.
Who's gonna? I don't know. Maybe he's just broaching the subject of swelling and thinking it'll.
Yeah.
what
man.
else is
Blood
swells
goes
on
to
you?
places and swells. So.
Yeah.
So like I said, I didn't even mind sitting down because I got the feeling that he probably, like I said, he sits by this bathroom. You know, it's an easy place. And he goes, "Why don't you sit down?" And I'm just like, you know,
Dude,
whatever,
at that point,
man.
At that point, if you're walking to the pisser, Jay, and Ed's sitting there, you don't know his name at the time, but he says, "Hey, how you doing?" You say, "Yeah, good, man. Nice to see you." And then he says, "Why don't you sit down and talk?"
Yeah, it depends on how he says it, what he looks like. There's a lot of variables.
See, I don't think there's any variables. I think I'm just going, you know what, man? I'm kind of in a rush here.
There's some totally innocent old men that you
Yeah.
can picture like, okay,
Just need a
have
chat.
have a chat with that.
Yeah.
But
Well, my thing was I kind of said it yesterday, but I really tried to make this trip very much a
just about you.
about
So
doing.
for Ed to interrupt that, oof.
No, that's
Yeah,
not what
what
I
a
was saying,
selfish
or where I
dick.
went at
Selfish
all.
of Ed.
I was making it very much about just about the fact that I did not have a schedule and the fact that it
Just let
wasn't
the
like I had
universe
to
guide
be.
you. The universe guided you.
Kinda, I guess. But like my point is, like even the kayaking was very last minute, and I thought I didn't have to be anywhere. And actually, my campground I couldn't even check in till 4, I guess. So I just thought, you know what, dude, if this guy wants to talk for a little bit, now I couldn't sit there for a half hour because I'm sure he would
But
have
you'll
been.
give him 15
But I'll
minutes.
give him 15 minutes,
Or
and
let
that's
him
what
run
I
through
did.
his 10-minute,
so.
elevator speech. So when you guys exchange numbers, have you guys chatted
No,
since
I
then?
haven't chatted since then.
No, you
but-
guys haven't caught up since then?
Flat out
No.
dick pics. That's all.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's just sending a series of dick pics over and over with salt and pepper pubes.
More swelling.
Oh, look at this. It was not just my leg swelling this time.
He asked me things like he
So
was.
why do they call you Big E?
He was literally just like, "So do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a wife?" And I'm like, "No."
He said no, and then he
no."
said, "Oh, boyfriend,
And yeah, it was
partner."
for this show. Yes, I admit that again. It would have been hilarious to ask more about the sex, but I didn't want to do that to this dude. Honestly, I
Hey,
wasn't
he
gonna-
brought it up. Obviously, he was dying to discuss it.
It was weird hearing him say literally like
Sure.
he's like I miss like and I wish I could remember the wording he said it because it was very much
Sexual
like,
congress?
Yeah, like the touch of like he
Coitus.
And I could picture that dude. I'm
Closet
like,
time?
I don't know who'd want to be having even if the wife was still alive, would he
Really?
really be still having sex? I mean,
Why? What was wrong with Ed?
He was a larger man.
Yeah, that happens.
I mean, he's 70, but
Yeah.
Hey, look, listen, if you want the absolute best automotive experience possible, go see our friends at Zotford and Holly. Zotford has a massive selection of new and pre-owned vehicles ready for you to choose from. Their award-winning service department has brand new free loaners for you to enjoy while your vehicle is being serviced. Zotford has a fully stocked parts department and 2 state-of-the-art body shops. So, as to Mike, Jay, and Etard's point, Zotford has you covered. Plus, when Zot takes care of you, you are really taking care of the podcast, so thank you.
Absolutely. Hey, 4 more boys dragged out of the cave, Jay.
Is that right? So
Yeah.
just a couple left, huh?
So we got 4 boys and a coach left.
Oh, okay.
Coach has to be last, right? He cannot
Better
go out.
be.
Yeah.
He better be.
Yeah, he's like the
what
captain
if
of the
he
ship,
was the
right?
first one out?
He's George Costanza,
Right.
just shoving kids out of the way. Yeah, he has to be. There's no way he cannot be last. So, there's 4 more still in there in the coach, but many of the kids can't swim, so they're literally being dragged out. You know, they're just dragging them along and pulling them out.
But the waters are seated such that they can keep their head above water and breathe. They're not having to do this.
No, they've
scuba
got
thing?
the masks.
Okay.
They've got the full face mask, and it sounds like maybe they're sedating them a little bit so that they don't go into panic
Nice.
and start freaking out. Because that happens a lot where someone dives into a pool or ocean, whatever, lake, to rescue someone, and they flail and panic and can kill who's there to rescue
Right.
them just in a panic. So they don't want that happening. So I thought this was weird. And if you were a parent, how pissed would you be? Parents waiting at the cave are not told who is about to come out, and they're not told at this point who was brought out today, this morning. And I don't know why
And they took
would,
a break at night, which I thought was weird. You know, like
Yeah.
boy, we're racing. At least the media would have us think we're racing against time before the water goes up
Yeah.
again, and we've got to do
It's
it in this
monsoon season.
limited time frame. And they're like, well, you know, we got to take a break. Like, dude, shouldn't you have people around the clock working on this if
Yeah.
it's really that big a concern?
they've got like 15 British expert divers and then like 5 U.S. ones, and they got a couple of those Thai Navy SEALs. And then there's like 70 professional divers doing little parts around the place. It's like, I would think you're right. Like, But I think they used the guys that went in and pulled the 4 kids out the first day on Sunday. Those guys went back in and pulled the 4 guys out.
So those are the specialists who know the final area probably.
Exactly.
And they've got to sleep. So
the kids are all carried out on stretchers, still wearing their full face diving masks, and cared for it. They've set up a field hospital, and then they airlift them to another hospital afterwards. And I guess he had 12 divers that went in and got the kids out, and then the same 12 went back in. With them were 5 international divers, 5 Thai Navy SEALs, and 70 support divers, 50 of whom were foreigners. So, I mean, it really is an international effort going on there. Yeah, it's kind of a crazy story. But one of the things, I guess the kids that were there Sunday in the hospital, they were like, we need the basil pork and noodles. Like, they wanted basil pork and noodles immediately as a group, which I thought was interesting. And they won't give it to them. And they're saying, look, their parents will be allowed to come see them probably today at some point, but they can't get within like 6 feet of them because they're worried about infection. So, dude, can you imagine that? Your kid's been gone for weeks, and he's 11, 12, and you can't go up and like give the kid a hug or get near him. Like, that's got to be really hard for those parents. No hugging or touching. They need to leave until the blood tests come back. They need to leave the kids alone until those come back. The first boy, and I thought this, I don't know why this struck me, Jay, but I get, like, if you're a Jason, Jay, Christopher, Chris, you know, Bartholomew, Bart,
sure,
you know, Michael, Mike, you know, that all makes sense. So I'm going to give you a test and see if you can come up with the names of these kids. So the first one that was pulled out, and these are the first 4 that have been identified because they're in the hospital since Sunday. So we've got Mankol Boon Piam.
So I'm looking for a shortened name of
because
Mankol.
Mankol Boon Piam
That's
is
the full
tough.
first name.
That's the full. Well, that's the full first and last name.
What's the first name?
Mankol.
Mankol.
Yeah, Monkhkhol.
Monk. I don't.
See, that's what I would have thought, and that would have seemed right. No, actually, it's Mark.
Oh.
Yeah, and it seemed odd that you would from Mankul you would get Mark. So we're 0 for 1 so far on this. The second boy was Prajak Sutham.
Praj.
See, that's what I was thinking. Praj makes perfect sense.
Call him Praj Mahalski just
What's it
for
going to
fun.
be, Peter?
No, it's not Peter. His
Paul.
name is no. Good guess though. And I was going along those lines too. I was thinking John, George, but no, his name is Note.
Oh.
Note. And I'm not totally sure how Prajak goes to Note, but interestingly enough. And then you've got Natawut Thamasai, and they don't have a.
No.
That's what I would have said. They don't actually have his nickname, so maybe he just goes, dude, Natawut is tits. I'm not fucking with it. That's it. And then we've got Pipet Bodhu. So Pipet.
Pep.
Pep. See, I was going Pip, but Pep would have been good. No, he goes by Nick. Yeah.
So he just changed he just made a different name for himself. He
Pick
decided-
Western names.
How does that work, man? And
Well, if he's going to answer those call centers eventually, he's going to need an American name.
Good point, E.
To
Great
I mean, he
point.
can't be calling himself Pepe Pape or whatever.
is Nick. And so Nick, by the way, he's not even on the team. He's just like buddies with one of the goalkeepers.
Oh, man.
And so he gets dragged into the cave by this coach, you know. But he's not even on the team. So, and they're really worried after this ordeal. These kids are going to be fucked with PTSD. You can imagine. They're talking nightmares, stomach issues, headaches that could last for a long time, clinginess to their parents. Is there anything worse than that? Clinginess
This all
to
sounds
your
very
parents.
minor to me. They're really worried about headaches, stomach aches, clinginess.
Stomach aches. Why would they have stomach
Oh, yeah.
aches as PTSD?
Yeah, they develop extreme diarrhea after this.
I mean, they were in the midst of developing gills and losing their eyesight. They were becoming troglodytes, essentially.
Exactly. They also say they might get angry and upset much easier. I don't know, man. PTSD is weird. You know what I mean? It's a weird.
Give them some drunken noodles; they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Make it mild, though. Keep it mild.
Well, because of the stomach
Yeah.
issues that they fear they're going to have. Yeah. It sounds like they're going to get the rest of them out, the 4 out. I don't know if they've decided yet whether or not to bring the coach out, but the 4 remaining kids, it sounds like are going to be dragged out today. The other thing I thought was weird was originally they planned on getting the strongest kids out first, and then the weaklings they were going to leave behind. And then some Australian doctor was like, look, you take the pussies out first. Like, they're on the verge of death almost. We got to get the pussies out first, and then we go back for the older kids or the ones that are healthier. Wouldn't that seem like a no-brainer?
Yeah,
Like
I
you
don't-
take the weak ones out first. It's women and children. That whole philosophy. Yeah. So hopefully there's more good news on that front because I mean these kids are in for it. The movies are being written. They're going to get a payday no matter what.
Well, the guys who are out really ought to have their fingers crossed that somebody left in there dies.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah. No, that I mean it.
just
I
for the
don't think
box
it's-
office. The box office
Do you
potential.
think, do you think that really ups the numbers at the box office if one or two dies?
I think so. You need something to go Ari on one of these, one of these trips out of the cave
So
because it's all gone pretty swimmingly.
Yeah, no pun intended. So the Thai seal dying doesn't.
No,
It's really. I mean, it's
does
not
it
one
do
of
it for
the kids.
you?
It's better than nothing.
It
There
is better
was a
than
death.
nothing.
There was a death, and so I think that's great for the storyline. At least authors and
So you're-
script
does
writers.
that get your ass to the theater? Not me.
Yeah, but honestly, 3 kids dying wouldn't. I don't know if that would drag me to. Now, if they were eating the
There's
3
at
kids
least
that died,
there's at least a plot point there, right? Then you go off of that. Whether
Yeah.
somebody eats them thereafter.
Well,
Maybe we need to put a shark in these waters or something.
Can
Make
we
it
do that?
interesting.
Yeah, maybe a dinosaur or two. I don't know. Hollywood is known to take liberties, though. Maybe they spice it up a little bit with,
Yeah, Rudy didn't get that fucking tackle or whatever, so I mean, we can do whatever you want, right?
Rudy got the tackle, didn't
Well,
he?
then you got like a quarter tackle or some shit. I mean, it was some shenanigans in that end.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know the people that played on that Notre Dame team do not like Rudy very much.
Really?
I think Montana was on that team, and it's like, fuck this guy, man. Are you kidding me? Act like he's a superhero? I don't know that I remember that, that they embellished his tackle at the end of the game.
Doesn't surprise me, but I don't remember that specifically.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'll try it.
Rudy Rudiger.
Yep.
Even though I love that movie.
Rudiger.
I fucking love that
It is
movie.
a good movie. Did you cry at it, E? Of course you did.
I used to watch it sometimes when I was getting ready to go on my long runs, as it would hype me up.
It's your hype movie?
It was one of
Fuck
them.
playing the Rocky
I had a
theme,
few.
just-
I had a few,
yeah.
but that was one of
So
them.
you'd sit down and watch a 2-hour movie before going on a
No,
run?
I usually couldn't stand it. I would plan to go during parts of the. I think like when he got his big break on the team finally, when they finally showed him like making the team, that'd be good enough to get.
He didn't
going.
really make the team. It was kind of forced on
Yeah, it was
the
a
team,
practice
they-
squad or whatever. But.
Well, the team was like, hey, man, they got a new coach, Ara Parseghian, and he was like, fuck Rudy. He's not playing on this team. He sucks.
He's
And then
wee.
He's wee. He's slow. And so they all came in and dropped their jerseys on his desk. And we're like, I'm not playing if he doesn't get on the team. So, I mean, they really kind of handcuffed Coach. So that's
Was
what made
that
it.
true, E? Because that's
What?
kind of a big
What?
moment.
Very
where
dramatic.
Where they
the
dropped
jerseys.
their jerseys. In.
I believe that is not true. In
Boy,
fact,
what the fuck is true
you know,
in
the
this
sack
world?
might
My God.
have been. I think he did get a sack. I know there's things in that movie that
Okay,
are not true. So
You've got an interview there with Joe Montana who says Rudy isn't all true.
yeah, but the problem is it's an interview. I mean, I can pull it up here if you want to.
Well, why don't you peruse it really quick and
Okay.
see
Okay.
what Joe takes issue with?
Okay, sure.
Because I'd be interested to know. Well, there's still another 24 hours to go with this story, Jay, and we've got 4 more kids. There's potential for 4 deaths right there.
Good point.
And and the coach too, which would be a nice topper to this whole thing. So we'll see how it plays out. But it sounds like they're going to get him out soon. I think it would have been better for the story for Hollywood if they would have been there till October.
Right.
But the Thai don't apparently want to play by those rules. So we'll see. Anything, Yeti?
Well, for what Montana says about the sack is that basically he just kind of says, remember, it's a movie. Not all that's true. He doesn't say whether. I think it's just embellished. I think he got I think it was like a half sack or something, if I remember.
Tell me he clipped the quarterback's toes on his way. Diving.
Was he even in on the play?
Yeah, I think he did make it into the play.
Good
I
Lord.
have-
So it's safe to say Montana was not one of the guys.
Here's
on
a
the
quote
sidelines
from him
going,
right here. Here's a quote.
Rudy.
Here's a quote. He says, "No one threw their jerseys in." Montana said, "Back then they tried to play.
Fuck.
They tried to play someone at the end of the season that all the seniors could get in their last home game. The schedule was kind of set that way." Montana noted the infamous sack did happen at the final seconds ticked away. He did get in. He did get a sack, but even the scene of the players clearing Rudy off the field has an emotional steroids. I won't say it was a joke. But it was. But it was
no.
playing around. He worked his butt to get.
no.
Worked his butt off to get there, where he was, and do the things he did, but not any harder than anyone else.
Oh, that's a damning.
The
Tongue in
jersey's
cheek.
the
Oh,
jersey's
yeah, let's carry
definitely
the guy
done that.
off.
So he's the kid with fucking
Oh, boy.
Down syndrome that they
Yes.
hand the ball to and let him run 30 yards for a touchdown.
Essentially.
How I feel about that is I don't really, it doesn't really bother me in the movie. I don't even care because the movie's a movie and I fucking love the movie. But yeah, it sounds like there's like the jerseys definitely didn't happen.
I kind of have a problem with that. Dude, that jersey scene is critical.
I know.
It's critical to a true story.
I know.
Wow. All right. Evel Knievel. Jay, Evel Knievel was a little before our time. He was kind of 60s, 70s.
Yeah, but he was still a figure in our childhood where when you were playing with your toy motorcycle or whatever, you're like, oh, Evel Knievel.
Totally.
And, pretend it jumps off the couch. And
Do you remember watching those? Like, there would be like an ABC special once a year, and it was like, Evel Knievel's going to jump the Grand Canyon or whatever.
I don't believe I ever watched any of those specifically, but maybe I saw just little chunks of them at the beginning of like ABC Wide World of Sports or something that would always catch my attention.
Like that kick-ass video of the skier going down and just...
Right, the agony of defeat.
Oh, brutal. Yeah.
Little clips like that. I don't think I ever tuned into an Evel Knievel. I know I saw Robbie Knievel do a couple things, maybe in the early 90s.
Oh, with his daughter singing the national anthem.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Rings a bell.
Oh, yeah. Well, Travis Pastrana, great. He's one of those that grew up following Evel. And like a lot of people that were into those stunts and motorcycle crazy shit. And so he was able to recreate 3 of Evel's most famous, iconic jumps. Of course, 2 of those Knievel didn't land. He did, and we'll show you video. It's, seeing this, it's crazy that guy lived. But this guy completed all 3 of them. And Travis Pastrana, he followed the path of Knievel, paid tribute. So he had an event called Evel Live. And it was on the History Channel last night. And so the first jump that he recreated was Knievel's 50 stacked car jump, which Evel Knievel landed at the Memorial Coliseum in L.A. And then and Pastrana was like, he dressed in full Knievel outfit. He's like, that was the hardest part of the jump, was getting my ass into that outfit, that Evel Knievel outfit.
Jumpsuit.
And so his second jump was a recreation of Knievel's ultimately failed jump of 13 buses at Wembley. So he did that at London. And I don't really care that, Travis Pastrana lands it. I don't want to see that. But I don't mind seeing the ones where Knievel...
The originals.
Yeah, doesn't make it. And so this is in 1975. You got that there, E?
Indio, 1967 season. Thomas, here he goes, and he will go.
Oh no.
He's down, and he is hurt.
Oh, my, his own motorcycle ran him over.
Barely clipped. Like the edge of the ramp, right?
Yeah, what did he land? Like the front tire hit first, and then he couldn't.
This is the buses we're watching at this point in Wembley. He almost makes it, man. Looks like he's going to.
So what is it? His front or back tire that's the problem here? They said he was doing 90. 90 miles an hour. What'd you do, E?
I went too far ahead. Or too far.
No, you didn't. You were right there. We were about to watch it.
No, he was practicing.
No, he does the thing where he rolls down and then he goes back up. He went too far.
Okay.
Indio, 1967 season. Thomas, here he goes.
He's going for it. Ah!
You're right. His back tire
just
clipped.
clipped it. He's probably a foot away from clearing that.
Yeah.
God, that bike looks heavy, doesn't it? Just
It
compared
sure
to what you see
does.
today.
Yeah.
It's like a damn Harley. He's jumping 13 buses on a Harley.
Yeah. I think he ends up getting up here, and they want to stretch him off, and he's like, no, man, let me walk off this, at least get into the tunnel where the crowd can't see me.
God, you got to kiss like your collarbones goodbye,
Oh, yeah. Those people in their pants, their polyester, and their...
Culturally, what a weird time,
Yeah.
Where everybody, oh my gosh, let's see if he can do it.
I know there was 80,000 people, they said, I think, at this thing.
Daredevils.
Yeah, he's got this.
Dude, without the outfit, without the name, is he half of what he was?
If he's just like John Paulson.
Right.
And he's
or,
just
or the guy that you mentioned broke his record. I can't even remember his name at this
Travis
point.
Pastrana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he's not too badly hurt, they take him to the
Evil
London Clinic.
Knievel. That
Yeah.
red, white, and blue iconic suit.
Go to the London Hospital
Yeah.
in Whitechapel.
Red, white, and blue, white.
Does he have a
with
cape
stars.
sometimes? Didn't he use a cape?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. It was a cape. Didn't he do a rocket launch at some point
Yeah,
where he
over
tried
the
to...
Snake River Canyon.
Is that what it was? Did he make that?
No, it was like a Wile E. Coyote situation.
Oh, man, that's too bad.
Onto the stretcher.
I don't know how you survive those jumps like that. Do you have the one... so the finale for Travis was jumping over the fountain at Caesars.
Yeah.
Right? And Knievel did that. It did not go well.
I remember seeing that one.
But they said that wipeout was key because that was in 1967. And like I said, it didn't go well at all. But it was key because when he got out, when he regained consciousness 29 days later, the world was like, this guy's the shit. Like, it blew him up.
Wow.
But the tragedy of that. Do you have that one, E?
This is kind of the best I have. It's not. You'll see. It's fine.
Evil races down the ramp at 90 miles an hour, soaring over the fountain.
Hauling ass.
But suddenly, disaster.
Yeah, see, I've seen that moment. I've
Yes.
definitely seen that.
Yeah.
The crash.
Dude,
Let's watch again. He clears
Let's
the
watch
water with
again.
ease.
let's watch again.
Lands dangerously
Why is he
short
trying
of
to do a
his
wheelie
mark.
there?
Keeps landing short. Come on,
Yeah.
Knievel.
Slams into the
He needs to
asphalt.
lose 5 pounds.
Oh, he's so lucky he got his head under, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
My pelvis
I mean-
crush. I felt my hips turn in their sockets.
If you're like
I could
6
feel the
inches
pavement
short on that
crunching against my
roll,
helmet.
Yeah.
neck just snaps.
Daredevil's twisted and broken body finally skids to a stop. He's critically injured.
I was
What are you
unconscious
doing,
for
Evil?
29 days after the jump.
Unconscious
I
for
almost lost
29
my life.
And I remember as a kid going,
Crushed my
this guy
pelvis
kicks
and-
ass. Now you look at it and you're like,
Left
what a
hip and my
fool,
right
man.
What are you
ankle,
doing,
my
dude? You have a
hands and
family
wrists.
and kids.
The helmet saved my life.
Miraculously, Evil emerges from his coma, and on that day, a true hero is born. He decides to bounce back from his near-fatal accident and become the greatest daredevil of all time.
God, that bike
With
just
the
looks
will
heavy.
and desire.
It does. You're right.
And that's the way God made
I think he broke both hands, an arm. His pelvis is shattered,
Sure.
like his collarbone. Like, he broke a ton of stuff. And
The way he tucked his head, man, if he just came up a little bit shorter, that neck is just snapped right on.
gone. Yeah, yeah. What makes it like, dude? You would think you would do that once, just jump something once and fall and break an arm, and be like, that's it, I'm done. I'm done.
Nuts.
I'm not doing this. But these guys don't, man. It's like, what makes you spend a year trying to recover? And you can imagine physical therapy and painkillers to get back on that horse and ride again. Like,
Ego.
oh, is that what it is? Just wanting to be famous?
I guess.
I mean, obviously, if your name's Evil Knievel.
Pastrana with his cape, man.
Yeah, did he have the cape?
Pastrana, sorry.
Pastrana?
Sorry, Mr. Pastrana.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the little cape going. He's got the Red Bull helmet.
Do you lose any respect for Evil Knievel, the fact that so easily Pastrana nailed all
I
three of
do,
these
yeah,
iconic
I
jumps?
do.
Now, I would be more
Technology, though, dude.
impressed- Yeah. If you put Pastrana on Knievel's bike,
Yeah, right.
that would be impressive.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
There's probably no way the guy would do it. He'd probably get.
Hell
he'd be
no.
like, are you kidding me? He did it on this heavy ass clunky thing.
Those wheels look small.
Yeah.
You know, it looks like a stunt bike. And, you know, he's hitting 90. But, yeah, today's technology. Do we have any of Pastrana's?
Yeah, we have all three of them, depending on which
You want
one
to just see one of them, Jay, and
Yeah,
see,
I'm-
like,
I'm looking at it.
yeah, that bike looks better. Although it looks heavy, too.
I think his jumps, his ramps, though, are so big and so much more safer than
This is
Knievel's
son
to
of a
me.
bitch. Over the buses. Oh, just
Oh, my-
killed it. He could have
Dude.
done 18 buses.
He could have done 26 buses.
Shit.
He cleared that thing by a mile.
There's like 10 people watching
as
because
big a
they're like,
turnout.
of course he's going to make this.
Yeah. Not as big a turnout as I would think on there on the strip. Probably a hot day. So we'll cut him some slack.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So he set them all up in Vegas and did all three of them
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. Yep. And nailed them all. So it would have been better if had he lost control on one of them and wiped out horribly.
At least make it interesting.
Yeah. You know, end up in the hospital. I'm not saying he's got to do 29 days unconscious, but 10? Is that too much to ask for? I think not. I don't know. Exciting shit. What do you got there, E? Is this the Rocket?
Well, this is Robbie Knievel's daughter singing the national anthem.
Oh, yeah. I wonder how she probably tried out with everybody else before Robbie's big.
Yeah, before it
event.
went on Fox TV and that, all that stuff.
Totally blind, right? And we didn't even look at her name.
Sorry.
Yes.
If they held tryouts, do you think she wins?
I thought it was going to be worse than this, man. Honestly,
It's not terrible.
gets by.
Yeah.
I didn't remember this at all, so I didn't know whether it was good or bad. I just know you guys said she did it.
I'm not.
You're okay with this?
I'm not objecting to this.
Okay.
Now she's got a long way to go. I'm totally fine with this.
All right. It's just the nepotism factor
Sure.
that weighs on me a
The
touch.
Tori Spelling, Aaron Spelling situation.
Yes. The gap in her tits.
Oh,
Tori
Tori's
Spelling. It was like
so
you're,
weird.
You're not worthy of being on TV with that gap, you know? You think she brings it home okay?
Got a little creative.
Yeah. She knows she's in the home stretch.
Whoa, of the Brave? Did she do Brave twice?
No, I think she did.
She did Land of the Free?
I think
Home
she.
of the Brave?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think she did.
I have zero objection to that.
Well, I would like to have seen her. You know, some people when they say "Land of the Free," they go "free," and then they
You
jump to
wanted
the
more
falsetto.
there. You wanted more there.
I wanted the falsetto leap that some of the pros can do, free, and then they really get up there, and then it's home free because Brave tails off.
Mm-hmm.
It goes south. It's easy to do, but free is difficult.
She did some things in there that were not easy.
She did some things that were suspect, but I agree. On the whole, acceptable performance. I don't have a problem with it either. Hey, did you see what today's date is, Jay? It's not you doing history, but
What do we got?
23 years ago today was the final Grateful Dead show with Jerry Garcia
yeah, I
at
saw
Soldier
that.
Field. Yeah.
Mhm. Weren't you
Believe
there?
that? I was.
Yeah.
I actually sent out a picture of the ticket stub, which I guess those go for hundreds of dollars.
Is that right?
Yeah, yep. It's funny because I was reading. I wanted to see like what did people think of that show? Because I think of it and it's like, oh man, it was the last one. It was great. We're all probably all fucked up anyways. And
You're probably like, oh, he was fucked up. You could tell.
well, the Relics
good.
magazine and stuff, they were like, yeah, he was hoarse and tired, shaky voice. Spoke to the health problems that would soon consume him. Garcia had equipment problems to match his personal ones. Ultimately, he had to replace his Rosebud guitar with a tour spare, the old Tiger guitar. I don't remember that. He seemed distracted much of the time, aside from the moments when he got in the zone because the music just carried him away.
Hell yeah.
So he had a few of those moments, but he really looked like he just wanted to go home and forget all of this.
Go home and die.
Yeah. As the evening wore on, Garcia barely contributed to an abbreviated second set, which seemed to directly lead to an unusual two-song encore that concluded with the appropriate, sadly, Box of Rain. I don't remember that. And then he died in his sleep August 9th, 95, just a week after he turned 53 at a rehab clinic.
Second set, he was just giving his bandmates a head start. Go on without me.
Yeah, I'm standing here.
Yeah.
I'm holding my thing, and I'll be here for some background vocals. But Bob Weir, you got this. Take this, Bob Weir. And apparently they did. But yeah, he'd long since kicked his heroin habit. But I thought they said that, but I thought that he had restarted that relationship with heroin.
Relationship.
And, that's what I always remember. Bob Weir said he was pressing a bit harder. I think that more than his body could keep up with. But yeah, it's kind of crazy to think of that.
What was it? How many years?
23. Doesn't seem like it'd be longer than that, almost. But yeah, Soldier Field. It was a 2-night thing, and we were all at that final show, which I'm very proud of. I guess those tickets go for quite a bit of money nowadays, and if you have them, and it's one of those things where 10 million people claim to have been at that show.
Right.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Sure, I was there.
Dude, I will never understand the idea of lying that you were at an event. I don't fucking get it. I just don't get it. What are you trying to do? You're around the bar with some guys, and dude, all you have is that this. You didn't go, so like all you have is like, yeah, I remember when the Wings won the Cup in '97. I was fucking there, man.
Yeah.
And you
That is weird.
you weren't. Like,
what do you think people are gonna be like? Wow, really? What
Yeah,
was
for
it
that
like?
one little moment, you get the focus on you.
Yeah.
Because Jay, I know Jay doesn't even really, unlike me, Jay doesn't even really care at all necessarily about being at those events. No, he said it before to me.
No,
That he
I know.
doesn't care. I do. I fucking love these certain events, the ones I have been to. I love the notion of being like, oh my god, I was there this night.
But you would never lie.
But I
about
would
it.
never lie about it. Like, man, why would I lie and say I was there and I wasn't? I just don't fucking get it.
Yeah, it's this weird.
Brian Williams.
It's this weird 15 minutes we
Michelle.
all want, like just to get some recognition. We need that from other humans. You know, acknowledge me. I was there.
I guess.
You know,
And-
it's an odd thing.
And
but-
maybe that's just sad because unfortunately, fortunately for me, and I guess I would say, and I know you've been to a lot of stuff. I guess I've been to a lot of stuff that I feel like I don't need to embellish. I do feel lucky about stuff I've gone to, but I've gone.
What event are you most proud of?
I don't know what my favorite is.
I mean, the first night of the lights at U of M Stadium.
That was pretty fucking good. Pistons, seeing the Pistons win the Eastern Conference Championship. I got against
not
the
a-
Pacers. No, I wasn't there.
Not a trophy. Not the
No,
ultimate.
but
The Tayshaun
but again,
Prince
I'm
block
talking about
and-
my own personal thing. No, there was that series, but
Okay.
they won at the Palace that night in game 6 or 5. I don't remember what game it was, but no, I know, dude. I get it. You're just gonna let me
No,
tell me,
I
and then you're
just-
gonna be like, oh, I was at the title game.
Well,
Okay, well, this is my shit. Like, I don't
Why
know
did
what
you
to tell
decide
ya.
to go to a conference final instead of the?
Because I couldn't get tickets to the fucking finals,
okay,
dude.
all right,
I mean,
son.
I
Settle down,
tried,
Poops.
man.
Settle down.
I don't know. I guess that's probably up there. I guess I feel like I've been to a lot of cool last game. You know what? Last game at Tiger Stadium. That's
Yeah.
probably my favorite.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Probably my favorite.
Definitely.
Last game at Tiger
That
Stadium.
was Rob Fick.
Yeah.
Rob Fick with that grand. So young Fick said he was going to hit a home run today, and he just did. Like
Couldn't
that
be a
call.
more deserving, iconic player to do it, right?
Right,
I know. It's so funny.
Who would you rather have though? Like Bobby Higginson, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Rob Fick does
As good as any, I guess, of that team. I mean,
Right.
you're right. That's a good point. Who would it have been? Bobby Higginson?
It's kind of weird too. I was reading about that show, when Jerry died, and it changed everything. And they said LSD sales, there was a notable drop because touring with the dead, like people going, like users would meet their dealers at these shows and sell. That's where the exchange would go. And so, like DEA agents were like, once the Grateful Dead stopped their touring. It there was a
Dried up.
dramatic drop off in LSD shit. It's like holy, one band could have that kind of influence on drug things. They said Fish picked up the
Yeah, they picked up the slack, huh?
picked up a little slack, but not nearly like the Dead, and so yeah, I thought that was funny. Are you guys happy that we had Melissa Gilbert living?
Was she in Howell? Was it?
She was like Howell, Brighton,
Yeah.
that area with her husband Timothy Busfield.
There was a moment there where she was going to run for Senate or something, wasn't she?
She was.
And then she backed out.
Did she lose or did she back out?
I think she backed out at the last minute.
Yeah, she
Could
was.
be wrong.
She announced her candidacy in 2015 for a Michigan congressional seat, and her campaign said that she
Oh,
expected
Michigan congressional seat. Okay.
she expected to pay off more than $470,000 in federal and state of California tax liens. She ran as a Democrat for the state's 8th congressional district, but ended the run because of health reasons. So you're right, she did back out. They're leaving us.
Oh,
I know.
what are we going to do?
I know. I mean, one of our big celebrities is leaving town. Yep, they're going to New York, and but it's kind of weird. They're going to have this big estate sale at their Brighton home, and so that's going to be July 27th and 28th, according to Allison Ruby, who works for Poof Estate Services in Ferndale. They're the ones handling the estate sale. That'd kind of be cool.
Are they
cool
selling
one
like
to
the
go.
Laura Ingalls
Can anyone show
Holly
up, or-
Hobby dress or anything like that?
I don't. They said there will be some memorabilia.
Signed picture from Paul.
That'd be nice. That'd be
Michael
nice.
Landon?
Michael Landon. Yeah. Hit the hair. I mean,
Oh
the
my
hair
God, he's
alone.
like a
is
lion's
spectacular.
mane.
It was. It really was. Was he a dick as a dad, or was he by all
No,
accounts
I think by
fair?
all accounts everybody loved the guy.
Yeah, because he seemed to be really strict about what they were doing at the table and
Yeah,
stuff.
Paul.
You didn't fuck with Paul, but was he too much? Was he a little too strict? Would have been hard to grow up with him.
Well, you got to keep him in line when you're out there on the prairie alone.
Yeah, true. And he had a bunch of daughters.
He
Boy,
did.
That's got to be tough.
I think there was a season where Jason Bateman was an adopted kid on that show.
Really?
Yeah, like
an Oliver type moment.
Yeah, sort of.
Wow.
It was like Jason Bateman and his sister, on-screen sister, were they were in a runaway wagon or something like that, and Paul saved them.
You have to be kidding
No,
me.
and,
I
and
think
like
he's
the
right.
and the parents died in this event, and so they were left orphaned, and so Paul took them in.
No way. Can you find a clip of that or something
Well,
to
I'm
back
on
that
his-
story up? I don't remember that at all.
When was that? I'm not even knowing that show.
it was right
on.
before Grizzly Adams.
Oh, of course, obviously.
Yeah, there you go, E. That's all the info.
this
you
Then
need.
the Muppet shows after that.
This is his IMVD or whatever. So I'm trying to think when that would have been. But I think you
Who's
are
IMDb?
Jason Bateman.
Oh, okay.
Was he on the show?
I'm trying to think.
Pretty sure, man.
Okay, let me
Little
just Google
House.
it here. Just give me some.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. You're not usually wrong about that. So they said some of Gilbert's designer clothing is expected to be
Ooh.
available,
Ooh.
as well as handcrafted original art pieces designed for Gilbert, which I thought was an interesting statement. Like, oh, they're not something that she made. Someone made them for her. An interview aired at a Howell station. Oh, yeah,
There he is.
dude.
Remember that kid?
Yes.
Suspenders and everything.
Yes.
The bowl cut.
Yep. Totally remember that. Oh, that's interesting. So they said that on a Howell radio station, they're moving to New York for work reasons. The couple said their time in Michigan was a good place to start their marriage, and they want a fresh start. So it sounds like there's going to be a lot available. E, we should send you to this.
I was gonna
Have
say,
you
like,
go.
dude. I mean, can you just show up and
Well-
get in line, or how does it work?
They said that the sale listing on the website states you will find an entire main floor, an upper level, and a basement and a garage filled to the brim with tons of great stuff. With everything in working order and in great condition, you're bound to leave with something you love.
They're probably leaving in part because they found out Michigan's just full of star fuckers, and so
Yeah.
they're just sick of being hounded
Yeah,
on the
people
streets of
knocking on the-
Howell and
yeah.
shit. And so they're like, "Look, we can just we can put this whole place up for sale, and these people will just pick through this shit.
Yeah.
Sell everything to
all
them.
of our garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want our plates and dishes? You know, our dishes and silverware? Have at it. A detailed list of items and photos are coming soon, and there will be shuttle services, E, that will be provided because the driveway is so long. So they have to
Wow.
shuttle you to the place.
Okay.
So we'll need to keep up on it, E,
When
and,
would you
and
say it
find
was
out.
again? Like July 28th or something, or?
July 27th and 28th. The address will not be given out until like July 26th, the day before. of the house. We can figure that out, though. So among items for sale include electronics, a deep freezer. Is that the one that, like...
Yeah, Leonard Tyburski, man.
Yeah.
Tyburski style.
Sure. A generator. Generators are great, man. If you don't have one, you know, and you need one. And a little bit of Little House memorabilia, including sheet music for the show signed to her by the composer.
And that will just be laying in with these other things, right? So I'll be able to have as equal pick of that as anybody else.
Well,
I assume.
Here's the thing: we're going to have to give you some parameters because it sounds like her husband, Timothy Busfield, liked to collect DVDs and stuff, and so I guess there's quite an assortment of DVDs.
Nice.
And if you come home with a bunch of fucking DVDs, don't do that. You know what I mean? He's like, dude, look what I got! I got
Top Gun.
Spaceballs and Top Gun on DVD.
I don't even watch DVDs anymore. Why would I buy a DVD?
She did say that this has been the most incredible 5 years. I was trying to describe what Michigan has meant to me, what being here has meant to me, and the best way to describe it is to say it's been my blanket. I've been safe and comfortable and happy and at peace and content. This has been the perfect place to have that. But now I'm leaving. I don't need my blankie anymore. Time for me to get out of here.
All right, here's the synopsis for episode 721, The Lost Ones.
How correct were you?
James was born in the late 1800s, lived with his mother and father and his little sister Cassandra. The family had become friends with the Ingleses. Charles and Albert came along with the Cooper family on a trip. On the way there, as they were driving, the two wagons came to a very steep hill. Charles managed to slowly make his way down with Albert and the two Cooper children, but as soon as they came to the bottom and turned around, they noticed that Cassandra's parents had lost control of the wagon, went flying down the hill, tumbling over, being brought to their deaths. As quick as that, Cassandra and James Cooper were now orphans.
Wow.
Blah, 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 taken in by the Ingalls.
And so they just kept on their merry way, went to the Ingalls, and
The Ingalls adopted them.
No kidding. Did they just do the rest of the series with them then? Or?
He did 21 episodes on that.
No
Yeah.
kidding. Wow, that's crazy.
Great show.
Did you like that show?
Not.
Did you like?
I hated that show.
Yeah, I
hated
kind of
that
did
show.
too. I think it was a good show though.
It was one where you had trouble looking away. There was such limited shit on TV.
Yeah.
And it was on, and you're like, you're trying to get to the Muppets or whatever it was after.
Yeah, it's the Petticoat Junction effect.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's that tweener.
I wonder if that's on Netflix or not. I should look and see if it is.
I bet it's brutal. If
I know, I
you tried
wouldn't
to
mind
watch an
watching.
episode right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal.
Of Little House?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I've been
Probably
watching?
just
I
be
remember-
really slow.
I remember it being slow then.
Yeah. The music was kind of iconic though. Wasn't there an opening song?
Maybe.
See if you can find the opening song. I think it's really memorable, but I don't know if there's even lyrics. It might be one of those without, but
But
know what-
Melissa Gilbert was tagged as a star out of this thing.
Oh,
she was
yeah.
identified. Oh my God, what a great child actor! And
what was her name on the show? Was it Laura?
Laura Ingalls.
Laura Ingalls.
Yeah.
I guess this is the intro here.
Yeah, let me see it. I guarantee we'll remember it. Space, the final frontier.
Sorta. Oh yeah. Da, 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 da. There's Paul himself.
Hell yeah.
And he's coming off Bonanza, right? So he's a superstar.
Yeah, he's huge.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's Melissa coming running down the hill.
Yeah,
the
here I
meadow.
Look at
And
that.
then tragically, her sister went deaf or something, didn't she? No, blind.
Was it blind?
Yes, her older sister went blind like halfway through the series. It was tragic. Man.
Yeah, like as a character, not in
Yes,
real life.
correct.
Yeah. What the hell happened to Lindsay Greenbush? Anyone know what happened to Lindsay Greenbush? Did she fall victim to Hollywood?
Oh, remember, you know who was on this was Merlin Olsen.
Oh, yeah. Was he a neighbor?
He was Paul's, buddy down the way.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good role for him.
Absolutely.
He could play off that kind of iconic
Oak
bear
of a
of a
man.
man. You throw some overalls on that son of a bitch, and he
played
is
it well.
set for the Wild West. He just is. The prairie. Yeah. God, life is so different now. The way, like, you had these handful of shows that made it on the TV, and you just watched what you watched, and now we've got all these fucking YouTube stars and selling out places. We lost a few YouTube stars over the weekend,
Indeed,
Jay.
on a waterfall.
Yeah. YouTube channel, 500,000 subscribers, nothing to frown at, nothing wrong with that. Announced the death of three very dear friends on Friday. The video on the High on Life channel
Nice.
comes days after a waterfall accident associated with the group. The RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, have in Canada. Jesus, E.
Yeah, British Columbia, right? Some iconic waterfall.
Did you hear
Beautiful.
that?
I did. I don't know
Fuck.
what that was.
He sneezed.
I had to sneeze. I went as far away over as I could. and
I know, but it's probably floating. Don't do that again, please.
Gross.
Yeah, it was they fell from 100 feet, slipped on a pool at the top of Shannon Falls in British Columbia.
Well, I wonder if they've hashed out the facts to this one yet, because I initially read like all three of them slipped and boom, dead, rocks below.
Yeah.
And then I read from some friends of theirs that posted like, so-and-so slipped and the other two, as heroic as they are, dove in to try to save her.
Yeah.
And they perished.
Well, I don't want to get into,
Heroism or
well,
non-heroism.
I don't want to get into the weaker of the genders and what really you know what I mean? But I mean, if that story's to be believed, it was Megan Scraper who slipped.
Yeah.
And then Riker.
Well, it could be red
and
too, though.
Alexei.
She had the bigger balls to go walking into the more dangerous spot,
balls or, I don't know, whatever. But she slips, and apparently these guys go after her, and then they all go over
Yeah.
the falls and die.
Yeah, the way I looked at it, it's sort of like tiered, like many falls are.
Sure.
You've got like a pool, and then it goes down to another pool.
Sure.
And it seemed like she fell into one, and so they dove into that pool thinking they could keep her from going down further.
Yeah.
And they all went down further.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, what a bummer way to go, dude. That would suck.
Hey, they died doing what they loved, man.
Well, they say they lived every single day to the fullest. They stood for positivity, courage, living the best life you can.
They're these dudes who, are cliff diving one moment, and then,
Yeah. So they got, a GoFundMe set up already to support causes that align with the values and the aspirations of the three of them. Some on social media criticized them as reckless and short-sighted. It's...
You might say.
Yeah. Well, you got...
Would you say that about Evel Knievel? Maybe.
But if YouTube existed, would Knievel be... because there'd probably be a million of them. And there'd be some, Evel Knievel in Japan that kicks his ass.
Without Knievel, are there these three daredevils?
Yeah. Well, it's just... I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how old they are, but if they would even know
Human
who
nature
is
is such. You push the limit. There's...
Yeah, I guess that's true. These people like Logan Paul, remember him who went to
Absolutely.
Suicide Forest in Japan or whatever and got in all that trouble. He's filming a documentary
I know,
all
man.
the time, dude. He was there. And he put out this video, and I actually watched it. It's like 20 minutes long. And it's just like, hey, bro, here's what I've been up to. And it's like all these quick cuts.
That's how they are, man.
And it's just like...
Sweet Pie watches several dudes who do like these eating challenges and stuff, and that's how they all are. They're all video produced. Like their face will be blown up real quick. And,
Yeah.
And they'll zoom in real quick at them and then zoom back, and
It's like, okay.
because they're trying to make something out of nothing. They're just these guys sitting there.
Yeah.
They're trying to make it interesting for the kids.
So I went back and I talked to my high school.
Yes, totally.
Because the kids need inspiration. Flash cut. Now he's talking to the kids and stuff, and he's going to talk about everything that happened this year, and all the stuff that went down in January, where I was at in my life, and the kind of psyche of what actually happened. And I'm going, and so then it's like,
The kind of psyche of what actually happened.
yeah,
Is that a-
what that means exactly. But then part of the video, it's like, yeah, my brother was playing in our hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. He's performing a concert, which there's like a bunch of people at this place and a stage. And I don't know if he just goes out there and is a hype man. Like, I don't know. But maybe you can even find this. Well, I don't know. He and his brother perform a song on stage together. Like, Logan Paul shows up and is like, surprises Jake. Can't believe that you showed up. Dude, what are you doing here, bruh? What are you doing here? Shirtless the whole time. And then he's like, bruh, you got to come out on stage and perform with me. You got to do the song. And he's like, oh, I don't know if I remember the lyrics. I don't know. They are the gayest, cheesiest, dumbest lyrics you've ever fucking heard to a song. And these two, crush it. The crowd love. I'm just like, oh.
You watched the entire 20 minutes of this, dude?
I got through about 15 minutes
Yeah, it's
before I was
rough.
like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Maybe during the break you can find it, E, because, Jay, you'll love it. You'll love it. You really will. And then, did you see the story about the kid that posed as a high school teen?
Yeah.
Dude, the balls.
The temerity. There's been several dudes that have done this, right, on basketball teams the last few years. I feel like there have been. There's been a couple guys that out of Africa, they didn't have their their paperwork in order, and therefore they're able to slide in like these 24-year-olds as 17-year-olds or whatever. But this dude's just going back to school to pull some puss, huh?
Pull some puss and dominate in basketball.
well.
He's 25. He doesn't go in for his senior year. He comes as a new incoming sophomore. So he wants 3 years. And he's wanted to play basketball, and he's now facing child indecency charges. Sidney Bouvier Gilstrap-Portley, excellent, was arrested for allegedly having a relationship with a 14-year-old girl while he pretended to be a sophomore at Hillcrest High in Dallas.
14, shit, man.
She's a student, fellow student. I mean, he's trying to fit in, and they're just incoming sophomores together.
Not cool. Wow.
He was first charged back in May for tampering with government records after he duped the high school into believing he was a teen for 9 months. And then Gilstrap-Portley met the teen girl in his first year through a mutual friend. The girl told police, "Yeah, I knew him as Rashawn Richardson." And he even had Rashawn tattooed on his hand. So police said the pair chatted via social media messengers and stuff. Spent time together at school. He allegedly asked the girl to kiss him one day while walking through the locker room. He's also accused of kissing the girl and touching her titties over the bra, as they watched her nephew at the park. So they're babysitting the nephew, and he's focused on titty grabbing.
25-year-old. What a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Is he going to classes and stuff? Like,
I'm assuming if he wants to stay eligible to be on the team, yeah, he's got to be
that's a
going to
good point,
class,
I
right?
guess.
He's got to be pulling at least a C-plus average would be my guess. So, yeah, she thankfully was like, no, I don't think I want to have sex with you. And so he wasn't able to bang her. That's not without an effort. He tried. And thankfully she was like, no. So there was another girl who claimed she was in a relationship with him and had a child with him. Oh. And admitted that she knew he was impersonating a teen. And so, yeah, she claims she didn't know he was dating high school students. And then he graduated from the school in 2011 and had a relatively successful college basketball career. He went on and played guard for the Dallas Christian College between 13 and 14. And then soon after, he was like, yeah, man, I still want to play hoops. So he takes advantage. The school's got a really open, welcoming policy for displaced people during Hurricane Harvey. And so it's like, yeah, I got displaced from Harvey. I don't have any of my records or anything.
Yeah. Yep.
And so they're like, oh, okay,
That was
cool.
his in.
Yeah. And took advantage of it. And so he's playing at a tournament at another part of the state, and he's kicking it. I mean, he is dominating. I mean, he is the shit. And so there's a guy in the stands who's like, wait a minute. I think I coached that kid in high school like 7 years ago. What the fuck is he
Can
doing
you
out here?
imagine seeing that and thinking that?
Unbelievable.
That'd be crazy. Sitting in the stands watching a high school game going,
Yeah.
wait, what? That would be confounding.
He's spotted by a former coach. It's in the stands.
Who I think said he wasn't all that great, right, back in the day?
Well, he did go on to the college. I
Yeah.
mean, he had to be somewhat decent, but he grew into a full man though in the last 10 years, Jay, and so he's really bulked up, and God, that's
came into
hilarious.
his own. He came to his own in his 20s. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Look at this dude. You can see him
God,
there.
what's the end game? Oh, you get recruited again?
I think he just wanted to play competitive hoops. He wanted to go out and dominate a little bit. Like, dude, it'd be fun as hell right now for
It's
us to
tough
go
when
back.
it gets taken away from you, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It ends too early, and you're like, I want to go back.
You're struggling for playing time. You know, you're matched up against equal talent now, and it's like I can go back and play a bunch of white kids, 15-year-olds.
see
You
what
know,
we got here.
he's just kicking their ass. What do you do with them? What do you throw them in jail for that? I mean, well, I guess for dating the chick.
Yeah.
I guess you could do that. Fuck, man.
Hey, insurance, we all need it. Most of us don't even know what kind of coverage we have or who provides it. Well, let fellow TDC listener Brent Wasik from Wasik Insurance Services change all of that. Brent has over 30 years in the business, and he offers all types of insurance coverage, including auto, home, health, life, business, commercial, and more. Call Brent Wasik at 734-455-1900 and get a free, no-obligation quote today. Again, that's 734-455-1900.
Yeah, you know what you should do if you're looking for that thing, like if you search his latest video or whatever, the 20-minute video, at the very end of it, it's them performing.
so
Logan and
right
Jake.
next, right?
Yeah.
Check him out, man. There's this whole world that we're not plugged into, man.
Dude.
This is going on. Yeah.
Like, are you shitting me? This is absolute nonsense.
There's not even a fake DJ in the back to at least be making the beat. It's just coming from the screen, from the sound system.
Dude. And like sweet pie aged kids are into this shit.
Yeah.
Wow. There must have been shit that we were into that was just so, so low bar, just cheeseball shit. We must have, but
Some might say wrestling.
yeah,
Back in the day.
I think it's like these guys have no business being on a stage, right?
Yeah, but there's
They're like-
always a market for that. Little cute dudes who little girls can. Oh.
I guess, but dude, it's like, all right, we're gonna, I'm gonna throw eggs at a car. And it's like, okay, that's what you're doing. You're filming it. You're making money from YouTube to do these stupid stunts. But then you got to capitalize on that. It's like, okay, so we open a merch store. Let's take it on tour. And it's like, well, what are you gonna do on tour?
Yeah, yeah.
And so now you're trying to sing with a fucking what?
Yeah.
And it's like you can just tell they're standing there just like, yeah, what up?
When we were talking to Ridley, he's saying there's a lot more demand for that out there, like with people wanting to use his space, even at
Yeah.
Comedy Castle, for these
Yeah.
YouTube shows.
What is it, 400 that can fit in his place or 800?
I'm not sure.
It's somewhere in there, but yeah, you're right. It was like they're calling me and I'm like, who?
Yeah.
Who do you want? They want to rent the whole thing
Yeah,
out, like
yeah.
for a private event.
He's like, I've done it. These girls come in here and they watch these guys. And he's like, I have no idea who they are.
I don't know what they're doing. They're
Yeah.
just doing something on stage, and these girls are losing their shit like it's the Beatles.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's like, but it's great because they can come in an afternoon. Like these kids have to be under 10 and 12. They leave at 2 o'clock, and I can still have my club at night. Like, yeah, it's crazy, man. But yeah, they're making out on it for sure. So we'll have to look for his, his documentary. I'm very excited for that. I really have good feelings about this. I think
He'd
it's gonna
do
be
well
strong.
to just move forward and not keep coming back to the dead body thing.
Yeah,
Don't you think?
I would agree with that. Although when part of this thing was really informative for me, Jay. I learned that he was like a state champion wrestler, well-respected football player, like a 4-point student in high school, and it's like
Now look at him.
and now it's like dancing in front of these 10-year-olds with this
Fluffy
flopsy
blonde
blonde
hair.
hair. Oh, singing a song to his brother. Sorry, bro, about how I hurt you, bro. I just love you, bro. We should be friends again, bro. And I'm just like, oh my God. Holy shit. Yeah, it's tough, man. Let's take a quick time out. See, there was a beauty queen that gave her crown back.
Saw that.
Boy, hashtag Me Too is hurting a lot of people, man. Get into that story and much more next.
Detroit Cast continues after this short break. cast continues now, bitches. Here are Mike and Jay.
Hey, before we were off for the 4th of July, Jay, you would mention that the HBO show Barry
Yeah.
that you were watching. Did you watch that whole season?
I
Did you
did.
finish it? I was like, I did like those first couple episodes I watched. I don't know why I got away from
I
it.
really like the show.
Dude, I like it a lot. I watched the last, whatever, I think it's eight parts.
I believe you're
for
right.
Season
I'm
1.
pissed it's done. Like, I want more.
They're going to do another
They
season.
better, man.
They have to, dude. I'm, he's like, I don't know if I'd get into it. Dude, Hank Winkler,
Hank's great.
he makes me laugh so hard.
So is the guy who plays Fuchs. I can't think of his name right now. He's been in a ton of shit.
Oh, yeah,
He's
Stephen,
great.
it's not Stephen Root, is it? But he's...
Whatever. He's great.
Yeah.
So is
I thought all of the
yes,
characters are great.
I agree.
What is it, the Bolivian gang or whatever? Those guys were all great, and Bill Hader is great in his role.
The Ukrainians are awesome.
Yeah, it's
Goran,
the bald
the
guy,
bald buddy, is awesome.
Betty.
Yeah.
Betty. Dude, if you haven't seen that show, it's one season on HBO.
It's
HBO
quick.
Go.
They're quick episodes. It seems like they
Yeah,
move,
34
they
minutes.
move well. It's really entertaining.
Yeah, and there's some funny, like seeing actors like the. I guess we could give the overall plot line is he's a Bill Hader, SNL alum, funny guy, is a hitman, professional hitman, but he stumbles into this like acting class, and he's just got no personality. I mean, he's just very dry and calculated, and he kind of falls in love with acting. And seeing like a room full of wannabe actors who are like, well, I'm an actor and a barista,
Yeah.
and they're giving their credits.
They're doing these dumb exercises where they're mimicking each other and stuff.
like looking in the mirror at each
Yeah.
other and trying to, dude.
And Hank Winkler is their teacher, their low-budget community ed sort of acting
Yeah.
teacher, who himself is going on these auditions and getting
Yeah.
whacked for these low-level, guy in background on porch.
Yeah, with one line.
Yeah.
I'm here to read for Last Man in Line. Yeah. It's hilarious, the overacting and the people like, well, perhaps you saw the series I was in, blah, blah, blah. Well, it was a YouTube series. It was, and you're like, oh, desperate to fucking make it and all over dramatic about everything. And if you haven't seen it, though, it really is worth why you'll fly through the series. It's
some
funny.
good characters, some good twists and stuff.
Yeah.
It does move pretty well.
Yeah, and it's HBO, so it's shot really well. It's done really well. But I
I
wanted to let
actually
you know
had that written right there to mention Barry. Is
Yeah.
that Barry. Batty.
Barry. Yep.
Batty.
Well, you've given me some homework. Barry was one of them that you kind of shamed me a little bit that I watched a couple episodes and didn't continue. And soccer is the other. Excuse me, football, the beautiful game.
The other thing I have written down here, one of the other things, McDonald's coffee back up to $1.79. Who's
Out.
done with McDonald's coffee?
You are.
Yes.
I promise you that. Why would they do that?
These bastards.
Dude, they didn't need $1.79 from
It was
you.
$1.06 for like 2 years. I was
Yeah.
buying coffees every day. I'm done now.
So did you pay $1.79 for one before learning? Oh, no.
This is interesting. I pull up to the first where you place your order. Yeah, I'll have a large black coffee. Do you want cream in that? No, large black coffee. What size? Large.
Yeah.
Okay, and they go $1.06, and I pull around, and she goes, "Yeah, it's $1.79." I'm like, "Oh, whoa! No, it's $1.06. I've been buying these every day for 2 years." She's like, "They just hiked the price today."
Did you say keep it? Not interested?
No, I went ahead and bought the one.
See, I could have seen you squealing out of there.
I was locked
Boxed.
in,
Yeah, you're boxed. Yeah, nothing you can do about that. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I know you're
So
a
I'm
big
bringing
fan.
my own now.
Really? You're coming.
But
doing
here's
it
what I'm
from
going
home?
to do. I resolved that I don't. This is retarded, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Everybody's got a million travel mugs, right, in their cupboard.
Sure.
I mean, you got this whole collection of them. Some are $45. These stainless steel jobs,
Can't figure out what top goes on any of them.
Yeah, that's right.
Ugh.
So you're always looking for the right top. What I found is I want my coffee to get cold.
You do.
I want it to go through the process of being hot, then warm, then cold. And so I went, Gab's like, "You're killing the environment." I'm like, "I don't care."
Yeah, it's worth it.
I'm buying Dixie cups with plastic covers.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pour my own coffee in there, and I'm going to allow it to go through the process of warmth to
It's
cold.
really funny you say that because I have noticed that too. If you use one of those
Those goddamn Yetis or whatever, you pick it up 2 hours later and you burn your tongue.
Yes. There's been a few times when it's like, oh, I'm going on a 2-hour drive up north. I'm going to load my coffee into my metal, that keeps
Yeah,
it
your
hot.
$45 travel mug.
And it's like, I really enjoy when it drops 20 degrees, 25 degrees, and you can drink it like a
Yes.
beverage. That never happens unless you take the top off that thing and let it go through its process. So I don't think that's weird.
Okay.
I don't think you're weird for doing that. Really, I don't. That's interesting, though. So you went and bought a bunch of these?
I went to Costco and bought a whole
Currently
stack of them.
caffeinating. Yeah, it's got little signs up. I love the feel. I could tell.
Yeah.
The feel of the cup. I
Right.
knew it was going to have that feel.
Yeah,
That cool, like,
The sort of,
spongy.
waxy grip. Gives you a little grip.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss at McDonald's. I know you were a big fan. You've enjoyed it for 2 years. I'm
You know
sorry.
what? I'm
going
going to
to
save 10 minutes of my day now, and I'm going to
Yeah.
save $1.06 every day. So.
Well, you can justify it any way you want, but I'm sorry you're going through this.
okay.
Mentioned the beauty queen who was dropped out. Is Maude Gorman a weird name for a 24-year-old?
Boy, it sure is.
I mean,
named after her grandmother, no doubt about it.
you think so?
Absolutely.
Boy, oh boy,
Maude Gorman.
Maude.
It's an ugly name.
It really is. Thank God she's hot.
A homely name.
Yeah. I wouldn't think it'd be legal to call a kid Maude starting 24 years ago. You know what I mean? Are there any other Maudes out there?
It's kind of a thing now where people are going to the Penelopes and Harriets and things like that.
Gertrudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, going
Yeah,
back
they're
there.
kind of the callback names.
What do you
But
do with
yeah,
a Maude?
you're right. 24 years ago with a Maude, it has to be a grandmother's name.
Has to be. And recently passed grandma,
Right.
too. That the family, was
Well, name her after the
emotionally.
grandma.
Yeah. What do you
Yeah.
call her, Mo, with Maude?
I don't know what you do with Maude. Shit.
I think you go Mo.
Okay.
I mean, that's all I can think of. You're not going to go Ma. So, yeah, but that was really the most disturbing part of this whole story. And there's a lot of disturbing elements in this story. The name Maude on a 24-year-old was probably the most troubling to me.
It's tough.
Not her fault, but, she was she resigned as Miss Plymouth County, part of the Miss Massachusetts. So they've got, like, all these little counties that compete. The winners of those go then to Miss Massachusetts. And at the Miss Massachusetts competition, an MC made a joke about the woman's movement on stage. Bitch turned a crown in. I'm not having this.
Well, she'd been raped before, hadn't she?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like gang raped,
Yeah.
too, as a 13-year-old. Troubling. So tell me if this is out of bounds. I'm going to tell you what the joke was that the MC did. So during the contest, the host did a skit with someone portraying God, okay? During which she asked why Miss America officials would get rid of the swimsuit competition. The person then held up a sign reading, #MeToo. It's a great joke.
Say that again?
Yeah.
Guess I
I
missed
tell you weren't paying all that much attention. I don't blame you for that.
trying.
Okay, so they've got this skit. There's someone playing God, and the host is asking God, why would they get rid of the Miss America swimsuit competition? And then the God guy holds up a sign that says #MeToo. Like, I'm wondering that as well.
Oh, God. Okay.
See what he did there?
Yes.
It's not a bad joke. I cannot write, like, if I'm texting with someone who's like, hey, I had a great time last night. That was a lot of fun. I can't write me too. I have to have
I as well.
hashtag capital M-E.
Dude,
And I.
No, I write #me too.
I don't do
Capital M, capital
hashtag,
T.
but every time I text me too now, I think about it. I will say that.
I hashtag it. And I usually will get an LOL or an HAHA back, or even the face with the crying tears of laughter.
Oh, where the tears are like flying off the face.
I've never gotten a ROFL, but
I don't think
that
people
could be
say that
coming.
anymore.
Well, that's probably why I haven't gotten one. That's not a bad joke, though. So she is a survivor of sexual assault and says mocking a movement that empowers survivors is inappropriate, especially by a woman's empowerment organization. I don't know that you can say that it's truly an empowering organization.
Hey, this is a new organization, Mike. They've
That's
turned
right.
over a new leaf.
I'm grateful for the opportunities that Miss America creates. I'm also internally conflicted as the #MeToo movement was mocked during the final competition.
Complicated times.
It is. I will not allow anyone to take away the empowerment and liberation or make it anything less than what it is. Amazing, by coming out and talking about it. So she alluded to being bullied by fellow contestants backstage. Apparently these snipey little bitches were like, I don't even know if her story's real. I don't even know if I believe
Oh my
it.
God.
Wow.
About her rape story.
Fucking catty. That's
Does that
the
surprise
worst.
you?
No, it doesn't. But it's like, I can't. I'm so shocked. I mean, not that men aren't assholes to each other, but I am so shocked what women go through, what they do to each other in situations like this. I can't. Sometimes when I hear I can't believe it that you would bring each other down so hard like that.
Yeah.
I just can't. I know. Again, I'm not saying guys are all, perfect either, but
It's
we
so
tend to
great,
get
though,
things
that we
out.
don't do that.
But we
where
tend
it's
to
like, "Oh,
right.
look at that guy. He thinks he's the shit. He's not as hot as he thinks he is. Like catty bullshit.
Yeah.
Like that would suck, dude. If we were just every
Really
place
would.
we were sitting there going, ugh. look at that bitch over there, thinks she's hot shit. No, thank you. So Gorman was 13 when she was attacked by 3 drunk dudes in a park. She's with a friend, and they see these guys coming towards them, and they decide they just bolt in separate directions. Friend gets away, she gets caught, and is, quote, repeatedly gang raped by the 3 men. So I can see why she's a tad sensitive to the Me Too movement and whatnot. I don't know if I believe this, though, from the Miss America organization. They apologized on Facebook, saying the skit was not in the script or approved by the board. So wait, you're telling me you've got an MC on stage winging it?
Just going off script. Yeah, that's how they do it.
I don't know that I believe that. Moving forward, we will review all content with future MCs and other participants prior to our show to be sure offensive or potentially offensive content is not allowed.
MC's
I would
just some no-name dude. Like, we don't...
It's a chick.
Oh,
it's a chick, actually.
I would maybe believe that they didn't know the script. Like, maybe at the last minute, these guys thought, hey, this will be funny, let's do it. But I don't believe they didn't know they were going to do a bit between, like, God and the MC. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I would think they would absolutely know that would be planned out
that's my
weeks
point.
in advance.
That's my point.
I
I don't believe that for a second. Maybe last second, these two think this is going to be funny, #MeToo, and they do it. But as far as the idea, they didn't know God was going to be talking to these MC, I mean,
I could see that going on stage at a different event completely and then bringing it back to that, like, hey, God, why would they, blah, 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 I'm wondering why they would do this. And then God goes, #MeToo. But at the Miss, it seems like an odd place to even broach the subject of Me Too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It really does.
Hey, everybody. Please use our affiliate links. You'll see our Amazon and Groupon links above the fold at DetroitCast.com. Click on them. Shop away. Doesn't cost any more. The key, however, is that you click through our links. Also, make sure that you're shopping MyPillow.com.
Yes.
For all your betting-related needs. Use TDC code for the very best discount.
Did you see the 3 chicks charged for the Snapchat video?
Yes.
With a dying woman.
Yes.
They're sitting there in an old folks' home, and it's titled The End. What is wrong with people?
Man.
I mean, honestly, like, they're young, 21 years old. It looks
That's
like
not young.
most of them, but 19 years and 21.
That's not young to me.
I
not
know,
for
but
this.
Just Jordan Bruce, Maya Moss, and Lizeth Ramirez, all charged with exploiting an elderly and disabled person. One of them smoking a vape pen,
Right.
you know, and they're using profanity. They say inappropriate hand gestures. So I don't know if they were doing like the finger in the hole.
International sign of blowjob.
Blowjob,
Maybe the
maybe.
tongue in the side of the mouth. Yeah. That thing.
Yep, they could do that.
Yeah.
What else
they could do the jack off.
You think they'd be doing a jack off? Wouldn't they
Maybe.
be fingering themselves?
Maybe flicking the bean. Yeah, just
Yeah, they could even do like a shocker. They could do the 3-prong,
Sure.
like 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink. I believe they call
absolutely.
that. Yeah. Yeah. Look at these 3. Actually, not bad.
Look at these chicks. Oh my God, our
So,
culture, man.
It's
Look
just
at these
unreal. Dude, I swear to God, I was driving to my parents, was driving with Derek out to the lake.
God damn it. God damn it, Derek.
Marcel, Derek. And this woman, like, we're passing her, going by like 12 Oaks Mall, right? That area.
She's a good woman.
And she's a good woman. Wouldn't give me shit since Marcel was born, but pat her on the can. Oh, I love him. And so this woman, and she's like kind of weaving into your lane a little bit. We're doing 85 on the freeway.
So
We get-
Juice gives her a little bump,
Just fucking
sends her into a spin.
dude, into a tailspin, flipping
Yeah.
18 times at least, and goes into a cement, one of the
Nice,
bridges.
dude.
And just
Amazing
just
story.
you should've
Can't
told us
believe you
yet.
didn't lead with this.
no
Right.
chance of survival. There were kids in the. It was crazy.
Holy shit. Time for email?
Yeah. So no, dude, I go past her. I swear to God, she's doing 80, 85 on the freeway.
Texting.
She is. So her window is here, and I'm passenger in the car. Derek's driving, so I'm 10 feet from her.
Yeah.
She is literally in her phone. Like, her phone is up. She's not even trying to hide it. She's not looking up. She is in her
Just
phone.
steering with her knees with 2 hands on the phone.
2 hands on the phone.
Or not steering with her knees.
Who knows? We're going around a curve. You know that curve where when it opens up and pow, there's the mall and shit.
Sure.
Yeah. Got blown on that strip.
Did
once.
you?
Yeah, in rush hour. I told you about that. Yeah. Anyway, that's
Somehow that
beside the
slipped
point.
my mind.
Oh, this is a long story just to tell that again.
Yeah, well.
Oh, Mike got a blowjob. Mike got a blowjob. Moral of the
I don't think
story?
you would have even done the Snapchat story if it weren't for this. Like, that was.
Don't you remember talking about
I
the guy in
could
the.
turn this into 696 by the mall. I could tell about the
Oh, by the
blowjob.
way.
Yeah.
You guys remember I got blown on that stretch of road right there?
Mike got a blow.
But you did too. We've swapped stories about getting laid on the freeway.
Yeah. Mine was Southfield Freeway.
Yeah, right. I'd forgot about that. Mine, there was an 18. We were stuck in bumper to bumper, and an 18-wheeler pulled up next to me and gave us a
nice.
like he could see, like, oh, that dude's getting blown right now. Anyway, that's beside the point. But dude, I was shocked. It's like this bitch is going 80, and she's gonna kill someone.
Yeah,
she's gonna kill someone. It's
too many people out there doing that, and you can see them a mile away.
Oh yeah, yep, swerving or they're going way too slow.
Is this Paige, Brooke, and Bianca?
Yeah.
Wait, who are these? They're deceased.
Oh,
Jesus.
these are.
What are we looking at?
Why are we
man?
looking at hot dead chicks? Are these people that died?
Dude, I looked at these,
man.
I looked at these and I thought they were the same girls. I just thought it was different. A different. I really did think this were the same. We just were the same girls.
So wait a minute, E, because I saw pictures of them part of the news story, and I was like,
this was the one,
they're
right?
not that hot, but these chicks look hot.
Yeah, what were we looking at?
Wait a minute, E.
It's the same goddamn chicks.
That's not it.
E.
No, I don't think so. I think the chicks were way grosser than that.
Well, why do they have deceased, survivor, and deceased underneath? This has nothing to do with deceased people, this story. This has to do with girls who are Snapchatting a dying woman.
I don't know. I thought that was them.
Oh, Jesus. Just so they worked at the Bentley Senior Living Facility.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So if you find the... What did you just pick up? Texting chicks.
Three chicks.
Three chicks
Image.
texting.
No, three
image.
girls, Snapchat, woman dying. And then it showed three girls, so I just... I don't know.
So they were supposed to be paying very close attention. They all worked at this facility. Supposed to be paying very close attention to this patient who just had a stroke. And they were waiting for the hospice nurse to get there, which was going to take a while. So they're just fucking around. And, you know, the end and Snapchat. Like, what do you think? So another nurse there or something saw that and reported him, turned him in, you know.
In the meantime, it's gone viral.
Oh, yeah, they're probably famous now. They go on tour.
With Jake and Logan.
Sure. So
Do you have them, E? Can we rip on them in any way?
I can't.
I need
this
images.
News story has like a video, but
Yeah, well, that's good enough as long as they show them.
I guess this is.
Yeah, see, that's more like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was starting to feel bad for the girls when I saw those cute girls. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they didn't know what they were doing. They were just young guys having some fun. Now I want these ones jailed.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? No excuse. You were not hot enough to pull that stunt, ladies.
Disrespect.
None of them. Yeah, it's just awful because if I even look down the road at how it ends for me, it's not pretty. And it'll probably be in some sort of facility that I get dumped into. And that's like my biggest fear is some nurse ratchet or someone whatever the future Snapchat is.
Yeah.
And they're wiping my bum and stuff, and all of a sudden they're Snapchatting my gross dong,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like, what are you gonna do?
They don't appreciate, like, at one point, that guy was a human being.
Yeah, no. It's just a sad state, you know, that when it's like, there's certain professions you just expect professionalism at all times.
Yeah, unfortunately,
you know what I mean?
in that profession, given the duties they have and the low pay, you kind of get what you pay for a lot of times.
Yeah, but I worked in one of those places, and I was an absolute professional. Told you
Until
about
somebody
like
pooed
a
and
month,
then you did it. Yeah,
and then-
I wasn't going to do that.
first guy who pooed, you left.
Dude, George,
Well, I guess that's respectful in
George,
the sense that he
Look,
left. but-
George shit all over. Fine, George shits all over the floor. But how you get it all the way up the walls and the ceiling, and then you want me to clean it? Go fuck yourself,
He's showing off at that point.
dude. What are you doing? Throwing
Yeah.
it? Are you doing a headstand and seeing how far up the wall you can fire it? It was disgusting.
And if you can do a headstand at that age, what are you doing in the home, man?
Exactly. And so it was like when I was asked to take on that task, it was like, no, George is making fun of me. He's abusing his power at this point. If he gets a little on the toilet seat, you know, a little on the floor, fine. All the way up the ceiling, no. Unacceptable. How we doing for email,
We
Jay?
do have some email, Mike.
What do we got?
Agree, Jay. World Cup has been exciting and intriguing, says Rob.
Down 48%.
All the close
Ratings.
games. What's that?
Ratings in the U.S. down 48%.
The U.S.
43,
isn't in
43.
it.
Doesn't mean
And nobody here
anything.
likes it. So what?
Yeah, okay. Just says them.
The world doesn't revolve around America, Mike.
Just says
all
them.
the close games, shootouts, the pageantry. All just fantastic, says Rob.
I know it is.
And then Stan says, I never email, but someone has to tell Mike about 90 minutes and 90 seconds. No. Don't tell Mike about this.
Wait.
It takes an
I
entire
wanna hear
game.
about
It takes
that.
an entire game, and it gives it to you in 90 seconds of highlights. I love the beautiful game, but I can't watch because of work. But this keeps me in the know. Peace. Stan, listen. You can't work. You can't watch at work. Go home. Just go in the bubble, man. Go in the bubble.
No, I
go
like
home
this
and
whole
watch it.
90 minutes
No,
and 90
that-
seconds thing.
you
That
need the
sounds right
rhythm
up
of
my
the
alley.
game. No, you need to appreciate the the small plays.
But it's got all the
small battles,
all the
possession.
important ones, and it just trims the fat, right?
That's apparently what this does. Yeah, 90 minutes and 90 seconds. Look it up, I guess.
Yeah.
According to Stan.
What's the game I have to watch again this week?
Belgium, France.
When is that? Is it
That,
tomorrow night?
I think it's Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday, late morning, early afternoon, if I'm not mistaken.
Belgium. I love their waffles.
And then you got Croatia, England. Those are the two.
2 games.
That's it, man. That's all that's left. Dude, you haven't watched shit. You've got 3 games left.
You said 2 games. Now there's a 3rd game?
A final. You want to see the final, right?
Fuck's sakes.
Just watch Belgium, France. It should be
Belgium, France.
outstanding.
What's the other one?
England, Croatia.
England v.
Croatia.
TIA. Croatia.
Thus making the sh sound
Sha.
at the end of the word.
I would say Kratia, but whatever. We'll go with Croatia.
Mike writes in, Biggie's storytelling skills in the intro. Jay, Mike, and Eric. This is serious.
Uh-oh.
I mean, nobody addresses us as Jay, Mike, and Eric.
Yeah.
Jay, Mike, and Eric? I haven't seen that in years.
Yeah.
Jay, Mike, and Eric.
Not since you came up with Big E.
It feels like ever since Mike was tripping balls and almost dying for a week, he's been ripping into my man E a lot more.
I have?
That's what Mike says.
I don't feel that.
Listener
He's
Mike says
confusing
that.
you and I, Jay.
E is sitting here trying to tell a story, and Mike just continues to interrupt and make shitty jokes before E can even get a sentence out.
Yeah. I am guilty
agree.
of that. Is there an example?
E chuckles.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
That's exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself, Mike.
So does he give any example?
Yesterday, the entire time I was talking.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is.
Just because you're sensitive, don't take that out on me.
He doesn't, but this comes in after yesterday's show, so I'm guessing maybe yesterday. Before you bitch at E for not talking again, you need to give him a chance to speak without continuous interruptions and awful one-liners, Mike. Also,
exactly.
Did he write this
Amen,
himself?
brother.
I don't know.
Amen.
It comes from a
I'm never gonna-
non-E Gmail account.
I'm not going to interrupt E ever again then.
Also,
That's what the
let him-
masses want.
let
I'll
him
just let him
finish his
go.
thoughts.
Yeah, sure.
Also, I think it's time to change the intro. It was spoken about on the show, but nothing's changed. I've recommended the show to many people, and they all universally complain about the intro. It's corny. It's corny and turns some people off from listening. I think young Sweet Pie would be a way better fit, or Mrs. Fady. Hello, Mrs. Fady.
Hi, Mrs.
Really enjoyed the show as of late. Keep it up. Also, I want to shout out to new listener Big Nut Stiffy Brown. Hey, Big Nut Stiffy Brown.
I like that guy.
Yeah,
Sounds like an interesting dude. His parents gave him a weird name, but other than that,
Big Nut Stiffy Brown.
sure.
Tony writes in concerning the DNA background test story. Not fat, but big boned, 7 to 9 minute closet bone, and no bone.
It's a fat joke. You didn't even need to read that.
I
Just skip to the point.
had a story for you about those DNA background tests. My brother did one about a year ago. Results came in. He showed them to me. Not too exciting. Mostly what I expected. Cut to 6 months later, I get a call from my said brother. He has made contact with what turns out to be our half-sister of 51 years. For reference, I have 3 brothers. We are 48, 45, 44, and 40. Long story short, my dad, now 77, nailed some prostitute 52 years ago.
Awesome. Fucking awesome.
Claims he doesn't remember.
Oh, of course.
Sure, yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah. He just happened to forget that story slipped his mind of all of them.
He was on the break. Doing the math on her now dead mother, the aforementioned whore was all of 17 years old at the time of insemination. He was between marriages at the time, my dad was. Can't hold this against him. Not sure many people check ID when purchasing a piece of ass. I do hold the fact that he didn't, I do hold against him the fact that he didn't wear a condom.
Oh.
Now, fast forward 5 decades, my half-sister makes contact with her biological father, and they've started trading emails and pictures on Facebook. She's obviously happy the transaction occurred, and glad who she thought was her real dad is not. Turns out she was abused regularly by him. Shows have been excellent since poem number 1.
Wow.
Thank you, Tony.
Thanks, Tone.
Sincerely, not a member, but heavy user of the Amazon link and original Kickstarter contributor, Tony. Well, thank you, Tony.
Very good.
Thank you for using that Amazon link.
Boy, that would be rough.
Amazon.
That would be rough, dude. To because you know, the woman's mom died years ago, and she's like, oh, I found my real dad. So tell me about my mom. You know, what was she like? I mean, did you guys fall in love? What was the deal? You know what I mean? Like,
It's like, yeah,
was it romantic? He's
found
like,
her on the
yeah,
corner.
It cost me $20.
Damn.
Fucked her. Thought I pulled out. Obviously, I didn't. You're here, and that's really all I got for you.
That's rough.
Outside of that, you might want to ask some neighborhood people. They might be able to tell you more. But
But here you go. You have a budding relationship between the dad and
Would you be better off just not finding out about that? I mean, you've gone 51 years.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Probably as the brothers.
Yeah.
You're like,
I mean, like if you got a
done
call
without
right
the
now,
half-sister.
and it turns out Bill had a rough patch 40 years
Bill
ago.
went astray.
Yeah, and there's just some broad.
How about over in Nam, right?
Yeah,
Knock
there you
somebody
go.
up over in Nam.
Dude, if I got a call and it was like my dad was on one of those on leaves for 3 months
Yeah.
in the middle of the ocean, and they dock, not like
Well, docking is.
Docking is the insertion of one man's glands into the foreskin of another's.
no, I mean like docking for at port, you know, with
Gotcha.
the
Right.
the Navy carrier, and he just went off and just banged the
Maybe
dog
he did.
shit.
And you asked him?
No, but if I got a knock at the door, the phone rang, and it was like, yes, very good. Hi, I'm a wrong roast brother. Your father banged my whore mom. Like, I'd be like, oh, shit.
Looks like you just Amerasian.
Oh, Fan Lee. I wish you wouldn't have called.
Fan Lee is now Fan Lee.
Fan Lee-Waters. Yes, very hard to find you. Gonna make my way to the States soon. Would love to stay with you and your family. Sorry, Fan. Sorry, Fan. I'm not gonna be able to make that work, sir.
I can't
Sorry.
get over that story.
Yeah.
It's a great story, isn't
It's
it?
DNA test, man.
Because of some DNA test. He found his dad nailed a hooker 50 years ago.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
That's
story.
not on the commercial.
Good point, E.
Austin writes in, dear lawyer, voyeur, and employer. Fuck E. While studying for my PSAT pharmacy school entrance exam, I was listening to the show to pass the monotony of reading the same page 15 times.
Oh, I hated that.
Oh, dude, that's the worst,
Oh,
isn't it?
where you're like, I am so gonna pay attention this
Yeah.
time. I am not wasting my time doing this, and I'm doing this as I'm reading it, going, "Fuck, I did it again."
Yeah.
Oh, it's the
reading
worst.
comprehension just leaves you. When I heard E say that he had never known a man named Mercedes, I don't remember this story, or this moment where E's like, I've never known a dude named Mercedes.
Yeah, you would
What
think
about
you would-
Mercedes Lewis, says Austin? The Jacksonville Jaguars tight end since 2006. For Mike to be the football guy and breeze over this was surprising. But I digress.
Nah, I don't take the Jaguars as a legit team. To me, they're all
Were
forever
they in
an
the Final
expansion.
Four this year?
Yeah, I think they were in the I just think of them as an expansion team forever. You know what I mean? Like the uniforms don't do it for me. It's like them and the Carolina Panthers. Like I just struggle to really wrap my head around them as legit franchises. In the
Jungle
NFL.
Cats.
So I don't count those players as NFL players.
But I digress, says Austin. Anyway, keep up the good work, guys. I'm downloading every episode to get me through this exam. Love the show, Austin. Good luck, Austin.
That's not an easy exam to pass.
He's bearing down for the PCAT.
He should probably focus on the
PCAT, the PCAT.
Yeah. He should focus on that a lot.
Pharmacy school.
Yeah, that's a bitch, man.
Yeah, no, I've heard that.
To get through,
for sure.
to become a pharmacist. Who knew? Who knew?
What do you mean? You don't.
Like, well, it's like, you know, I would
all
think.
they do is sit up there and put pills in bottles.
Yeah, I would think they've got that
They
little
tell-
measuring metal stick where it's
Right.
like count, as long as you can count to like 10, 20, 30, and then you scoop it over into that tray, and then you slide it into a bottle, and then you ring it up like a
The
McDonald's
doctor tells
guy.
him what to do. I mean, the script comes in and just says, give him 20 of these.
Yeah, and so
Looks
it's
good.
like he's got to go to what he's got to do is be able to read and count.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, okay, Vicodin this much and this strength.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go. And then you go over here and you're like, LMNOP.
Yeah, but he has to be able to know.
GUV.
He has to know how to react when the customer goes, "Well, can't I get like double dosage? Can't you just
No.
give me like double that?"
He's got to be able to go, no. No.
you.
Yeah, I see what you're trying to do. Don't do that. So I don't know what the problem is. As long as you can count and find your the meds you need.
Okay.
And then, you know, your skills as a McDonald's register worker from years earlier come into play as you ring them up.
Anonymous writes in.
Oh, you
concerning-
need to staple a bag closed, too.
You do need to
So you
use
need
a
some
stapler.
dexterity.
Yes. Yep.
Anonymous writes in concerning adult babies. Hey, fags. You know, I miss that.
I do, too. Yeah.
Hey, fag. What's up, fags?
What up, fag? Yeah,
I kinda
fag
do,
is a
too.
great
You know-
word. Yeah.
Hey, fags.
Fags is so much less offensive than faggot, too.
Oh,
Because
totally.
faggot is usually
Yeah, it's
like,
ooh.
hey, fucking faggot. Like, it's
Yeah.
your
It's
brows
preceded,
furrow.
it's preceded by fucking.
Yeah,
and
a lot of the
it's sort of
times.
fighting words, you know. You
Hey.
fucking faggot.
Hey, have you seen Fady lately? Faggot. No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Thank God. You know what I mean?
What's up, fags?
What up, fags?
Fags.
It's an
you fags.
Look at these fags. It's a greeting.
It is great.
You walk into a party and there's like 8 your boys sitting there. What up, fags? It's perfect.
My fags!
Look at these fags.
Hey, fags, says Anonymous. So I'm experienced in this subject of adult babies. I'm currently dating a girl who goes into little space frequently.
Oh, yeah.
She's young, 18, but this is due to her dealing with trauma from sexual assault when she was young.
Whatever you got to tell yourself.
She has wore diapers, but you guys are wrong when you talk about the pooping, etc. She doesn't use the diapers at all. It's sort of just like an accessory to go with it. But it's not in a sexual way when she's in little space. We have been sexual when she's outside of her little space.
Well,
she's currently looking for a job, and in no way does her being a baby affect her life. It's simply just a coping mechanism that helps her relax. You guys talked about it being for attention, and in large part it is, but it isn't in a bad way. She wants attention from me. It's a father-daughter relationship thing. I guess it's just more for my generation than yours. I don't want to drag this on too long. Keep up the good work lately. God damn you.
Don't
Goodbye.
let us trying to get your goat.
That's a confused email to me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Anonymous has totally thought this through.
We need more details, because if it's just you come home from work and there's your girl, she's watching soaps, but she's in a diaper and a onesie,
you've gone through this scenario,
and a pacifier.
and what you're describing is a proclivity for pedophilia. Like if you're talking about you walk up there and you take the pacifier out of her mouth, you did the whole spiel.
Yeah. Remember that. I stand by that, by the way.
Dude, you got a fetish for babies or something.
I didn't do it. I'm talking about these people.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, if that's what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, there are some people, though, that just have fantasies of, rape fantasies, choke fantasies, stranger breaks into the house fantasy.
Okay, but that's like two consenting adults. Like, your fantasy is to take advantage of a baby. But your fantasy is to take advantage of a baby. Whereas the other fantasy is you're taking advantage of an adult. Yeah.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. I know
you're getting turned on by the notion that it's a baby.
See, I don't know that it's a baby thing, because I could see going up and being like, "Oh, I'm going to take that diaper off." It's not.
You're kind of into this. Like,
well,
you can kind of see this.
No, I don't. I don't know.
You with me on the? He's into the peeing thing kind of a little bit.
I wanted to be whizzed on. Is that the fucking craziest thing you've ever heard of? Jeez.
I'm
in a room of prudes. I can't get whizzed on by a girl. I can't wear a diaper and wet it and get changed and powdered. What's the matter with you guys?
I don't know.
No, I don't think I could whiz a diaper. Remember how E struggled when we wanted him to whiz a diaper and he couldn't do it?
Absolutely.
So what I want to know is if when they're being babies, and it's probably different, so maybe he can talk specifically about his situation, does she get into baby mode and like goo goo gaga and crawl around the house and eat sloppy and spill food on her bib? Or is it like she's just sitting there watching a movie in a diaper?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think there's a difference in those two.
I would be willing to give this validity if it was like overseen by a therapist or something. Like some therapist, like go to your baby space and this will help
Jerry
you
would
work
help
through.
them.
This will help you work through this daddy issue or whatever. But this notion of her just sitting at home doing this, and then her boyfriend comes over, and it's like it's for attention from him because she didn't get attention from her father. Like,
and it's a father-daughter relationship type thing. Yeah, there's something creepy. And the reason I always go to the sex thing is because I just can't imagine the role-playing thing is not leading to sex. They swear it doesn't, not for all of them, but I just find that really hard to believe.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, you're doing something to spice things up, whether it's the furry stuff or... I know they had a big convention over the weekend.
Save the rest for tomorrow.
Sounds good. Let's get out of here. Isis, I will never interrupt you again. Apologize. I had no idea how much the audience,
as usual,
was hanging on your every word, and we are going to let that happen from here forward.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for hanging with us. We'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully you will join us.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.